Gravity Falls ended a year ago and I miss it! Gravity Falls was my favorite show. My biggest regret about YouTube is, without a doubt, not starting earlier when Gravity Falls is on air, because I used to type paragraphs on Twitter, my old Tumblr, about so many theories and stuff, some of which actually came true. It came to fruition in the show. But alas, I missed that train and started a few months after Gravity Falls already ended. Now, I have a lot of complaints about the show, but mostly towards the second half of the season, it felt very rushed. Once Ford was introduced, it felt like he just instantly relegated the sidelines, and making Wyrmageddon take up like the last 4 episodes of the season also cut the development of a lot of characters. So if I could fix Gravity Falls, it'd be in one simple way. Either A, make Wyrmageddon a TV movie so you have 4 more episodes of season 2 to kind of advance forward a little bit more, maybe get another Pacifica episode in, maybe another Zeus episode, and build up a little more tension until Bill broke the rift, because it felt very streamlined. The rift was introduced in August, and by October, only 4 episodes after it was introduced, it already broke and Wyrmageddon had begun. That feels kind of way too soon, especially for Gravity Falls pacing. I mean, we spent 12 episodes speculating what the portal was. I say 12 because Dana Gideon rises. My other solution is make a season 3, but maybe instead of 20 episodes, make it 10 or 13. That way you can have 3 new episodes at the end of season 2 after Ford was introduced. These episodes can be used to develop Ford, develop Pacifica, develop all these side characters, give Wendy a development episode. That episode that Alex Hirsch had at a con about a year or 2 ago, that Stan and Wendy would start a heist duo and it ends with Wendy getting caught, and then Stan vouches for her. He's like, no, I'll serve time instead. And he's like, look kid, I'm old. I already lived my life. Go live your life. That would have been a genuinely great episode to see. So this way you have 3 episodes that you can use to fill up whatever. To develop Ford, develop Wendy, develop Pacifica. And then have Dipper and Mabel vs. the Future be a 2-part season finale that ends in the rift being broken. This way, not only with 2 parts, you can expand on Dipper and Ford and the possible apprenticeship, and Mabel not wanting to let go of Gravity Falls, not wanting to grow up, but you can explore the UFO a little bit more. Explore everyone on the wheel a little bit more. We had to find out that McGucket was in the bunker through Twitter, through a con. That was never actually stated in the show. We just see him running away, not what he seems, and then he's in the background saying Tyrion candidate, and then suddenly he's in the shack with everybody in Wyrmageddon 3. That was a poor way to handle that. Have an episode where they go into the bunker or something. And then when season 2 ends with the rift breaking, we go into season 3, which is Wyrmageddon, but instead of 4 episodes, it's a 10 or 13 episode season. Now you may be thinking, Wyrmageddon cannot fill 13 episodes, but I disagree. This way you can do a proper reintroduction of McGucket. This way you can have Gideon as the actual villain for an episode or 2 instead of just a little bit, 7 minutes of Wyrmageddon Part 1. Ford could be around for like 1 or 2 episodes before he's taken out of commission. A lot of people feel like Wyrmageddon 2 was rushed. With a 13 episode season, you could have 2 or 3 episodes inside Mabel Land. So you can also fix Mabel. Because Mabel, she never actually apologized for breaking the rift. Dipper actually never found out that Mabel was the reason why the rift broke. She wasn't the sole reason, but she played a huge role in the rift breaking. And besides sock opera and the last Mabel corn, Mabel seemed pretty unapologetic for all the times she was selfish throughout the series. At the end of the day, it was just Dipper being like, we're always here for each other, so don't let this be any exception. Making Wyrmageddon longer, and therefore making Mabel Land longer, will give us an episode to delve into that specific part of Dipper and Mabel's relationship. And Mabel would have came out a much more well-received character than she did by the end of the series. And while I love Wyrmageddon 3 and thoroughly enjoyed it, I do feel like it could have been expanded on a little bit more. With a 13 episode season, instead of the final 2 episodes being Wyrmageddon 3, imagine Wyrmageddon 3 being expanded on for the final 4 episodes. That sounds a lot more exciting. And this way we can actually see how the apocalypse is affecting everybody, how Wyrmageddon has had an impact on Pacifica, how it's impacting McGucket since his nightmares are finally coming true. Everything that he feared, everything that he worked so hard to try to prevent, is finally reality. That he had a reason to be scared and to wipe all of his memories for all these years. And this could have properly allowed us to bring back the Dipper clones, because they wanted to bring back the Dipper clones, but since there was no time, their subplot was scrapped from Wyrmageddon 3 and they were just slapped on in at the credits, and expanded on in Journal 3. Again, Gravity Falls had a lot of loose ends that was tied up and resolved outside of the actual show. That shouldn't happen. And I feel like a season 3 being half the length of a normal season and expanding on Wyrmageddon and everybody and all the characters would have corrected a lot of these issues. And we could have had an entire episode to wrap up the series, an entire episode of the town going back to normal, of Dipper and Mabel's birthday, of them saying goodbye to everybody, instead of just 10 minutes. This episode could have also been used to get Stan's memories back. That could have been a driving force of the final episode if it was actually a half hour instead of just 10 minutes of Wyrmageddon 3. A full 23 minutes, if not a full half hour like what tells you Stans, of Stan struggling to get his memories back, showing lasting effects of his amnesia, while Dipper and Mabel are still trying to have a good birthday despite all the circumstances. Instead, he lost his memories and got it back 5 minutes later, if that. And Hershey has expressed regret in making Stan getting his memories back so quickly, but he didn't have any time. And honestly, besides Wyrmageddon Part 1 and Wyrmageddon 3, Bill Cipher really didn't do much in Wyrmageddon. He unleashes the apocalypse, he turns Ford and the town to gold, and he eradicates Time Baby. After that, he just sits there and hopes that Ford will crack and give him the secret to undoing the town's barrier so he can unleash Wyrmageddon worldwide. If we had 13 episodes of Wyrmageddon, we could have a lot more episodes of Bill confronting everybody, or a few episodes of the Henchmaniacs wreaking havoc against the gang as they try to fight Bill, maybe going more in depth with Bill's relationship with all the creatures in the outskirts of the town, and just try to make it more menacing. Any of that would have fixed Gravity Falls. But these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours, so please comment down below. Do you think Gravity Falls, especially the second half of Season 2, was fine the way it was, or do you agree that my changes may have fixed the show a little bit more? Or even better yet, how would you have done it? Comment down below, let me know. Let's get a discussion going. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. Follow us on social media, links to everything in the description down below. Awestruck Fox, signing out.